Welcome to I Caught It on Audio. This is This Song Good episode 86. Nirvana, You Know You're Right.
Welcome to I Caught It on Audio. In today's episode, we are continuing our Is This Song Good series. This time around, we are doing songs that were posthumously released. Did I say it right that time, Dan?
I don't think so.
No?
That's okay. They know what you mean.
All right. This time around, we're going to do a song that Dan picked. It's the song by Nirvana called You Know You're Right. So why don't you tell us why you picked that song?
Well, I remember driving into school when I heard this song, and I think it must have been 2002 based on when it was released. And you know how often you start getting bits and bobs from dead artists because someone's trying to make some money off of it, or it's the leftovers that existed and they weren't that great. So when the DJ was like, "Hey, this is the new Nirvana song. It's the last Nirvana song because, you know, it was the last one recorded." I was like, okay, well, let's see. And then I really liked it. I really liked it the first time I heard it, and I was really impressed. I was like, this is actually like a really good Nirvana song. You know, it's up there. And I was really impressed. I thought it sounded slightly like maybe like there was slight progress sort of in what they were trying to do sonically, but it really sounded an awful lot like In Utero.
Yeah, it could have definitely come right off of In Utero.
Yeah. And it was probably written around that time. I think they were touring for In Utero when they sat down and recorded it, if you believe Wikipedia. And I was just like very impressed. It's catchy, but it's also dissonant, and you know, it punches you right in the face. It has a really sort of, you know, knowing what happened not 2 or 3 months later.
Right.
It's somewhat haunting, you know, with the voice breaks and the you know, screaming of pain, you know, and then in the chorus. And I just think it's a really, really good song. And it can stand up with almost any Nirvana song as far as quality. So it's one of the first songs that popped in my head when we were talking about this theme for the podcast. So Dave, why don't you tell me what if you heard it before and what your thoughts were?
Yeah, no, I definitely had heard it before. There's no doubt about that. I think it got a decent amount of airplay right when it came out because I think it was released with a compilation album,
Greatest Hits or something. Yeah,
a big box set or something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't really pay much attention to it then. I kind of felt like it was, I don't know, maybe I was just being cynical, but it kind of felt like a money grab thing. And this is also when music just kind of started to disappear for me. Like I lost touch of music in the early 2000s. So I didn't pay much attention to it for whatever reason. It was mostly just listening to, you know, CDs in my car or whatever, rather than the radio. But coming back to it now, man, it is. I wish I'd have paid more attention because it is a good song. It definitely has that raw emotion that Cobain is known for, and it's so powerful. Like he doesn't have the best singing voice as far as accuracy of notes and all that stuff, but boy, he sure has the emotion aspect down of it. And you can feel the torment that he's going through as he sings, and it's phenomenal. It was nice to get back into a semi new again song from Nirvana because they're one of my all time favorites. Zach, what did you think of this one?
I'm in the same boat as you, where I remember listening to it around the time that it came out, but I don't think I was ready for it at that time.
Exactly.
It was just one of those things where whether I thought it was a money grab or just wasn't really all that into Nirvana at the time. I listened to it and just kind of forgot about it. But coming back to it this time around, it feels both new and old. You know what I mean? I
do. Yeah.
It's got that feel like it's something kind of brand new, but it also has that old timey Nirvana sound to it. And it sounds as polished as every other Nirvana song, which is one of the things I always loved about them, is that they didn't really care that much about trying to make their recorded studio albums sound perfect. Like there were quotes by Butch Vig where he would say that Kurt was really difficult to work with because he would do a vocal take and he'd be like, "That's it, it's good, done," and he'd go to do something else. And Butch would be like, "No, that's not done. we need to do that a couple more times."
Because he missed notes a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't have that smooth, like Steven Tyler voice where every note was going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Except the ones that he deliberately didn't want to be perfect. It was just raw emotion. That's what made Cobain so great.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to the heart of his, not only his style but his songwriting sensibility. Is that he was more about the emotion and the moment, and he was not about trying to X-Acto knife this kind of perfect thing.
Right.
And even with this, I really like it. I like how it's got that sort of like plinky, playing the guitar strings up above the the nut at the top.
The nut, yeah,
yeah. And so he was just probably like noodling around with that, but it sounded good. It was rhythmic. It fit with the rest of the song, so they just cut it and put it in at the beginning and put it at the end. Nice little bookends there. And then I really love how the palm muting of the guitar interacts with the bass during the verse. It's so good. And like you guys were saying, just the emotion of the the screaming and the you're right. It works so well together. It all is just this nice little package of a dang. I wish we had more Nirvana.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I wish that they could have been able to continue on in some capacity. But at the end of the day, maybe he realized that he didn't have anything else to say and he just wanted to kind of go away.
Yeah.
And I wish it didn't have to be that way, but
right.
Sometimes that's what people think.
But can you imagine, Cobain was already at the peak of his songwriting, and then Dave Grohl was just coming up and becoming a songwriter himself, as displayed with the Foo Fighters over the last 25 years.
Yeah.
And then the two of them really getting together and just writing incredible music. Wouldn't that have been something?
That would have been amazing if it would have gone that way. I don't know that it would have, because I kind of got the sense that Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl were kind of doing their rhythm thing, and Kurt was just kind of like the leader of the songwriting and the lyrics and the melodies. And I don't know if he would have let that go.
Yeah,
it's just the way people are sometimes.
Yeah, and so I mean, I agree. It could have gone that way, or they could have just gone their separate ways at a certain point. And I could totally see like a Bruce Springsteen-esque folk chapter from Kurt Cobain later. I mean, he had the voice for it, as we saw in the Unplugged session.
Oh yeah, phenomenal.
But and I think if you take Wikipedia's word for it, that the main vocal was one take on You're Right, to sort of support what you were getting at, Dave, with the sort of get in there, get it, and be like, it's not perfect, that's fine. I don't want it to be perfect. I think he was very distrustful of perfect. They didn't always have lots of great things to say about the production on Nevermind, because it was a little more polished than at least he was comfortable with. But
right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed revisiting this more carefully for this podcast.
Yeah. So good. All right. You guys have anything else for this one?
No.
What do we got coming up next week?
We got Jimi Hendrix with a song called Dolly Dagger, and it was on different compilation, quote unquote, posthumously released albums. I think Rainbow Bridge was where it first showed up, but then there's another one. So we'll get into that when we actually chat about this song.
Are you saying there's more than one Jimi Hendrix posthumous release?
I'm saying you can hear it multiple ways.
Every which way but loose.
Yep.
All right. Well, tell us what you guys think in the comment section. Is this Nirvana song good? Does it live up to the scrutiny of the Nirvana name? Like and subscribe if you do that kind of thing. If you want more content like this, you can find everything we've done at 64tacos.com. And if you really liked it, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/64tacos and you can buy us a taco. Thank you for listening.
I caught it on audio.